So, y'all are probably thinking, hey, what the heck is this crazy fool doing when it's 107 degrees outside trying to split some firewood? Howdy folks, thank you for tuning in to Homesteading at the Black Sheep Meadow. I'm Brent.
And I'm Amber.
You gonna join me today?
Sure.
So, y'all are probably thinking, hey, what the heck is this crazy fool doing when it's 107 degrees outside trying to split some firewood? Well, as today's video title states, we're trying to keep the homestead prepared for all the different seasons, and believe it or not, fall is gonna be right around the corner. So we've got, I think in the next 7 days, we've got some temperatures that are gonna knock us out of the triple digits finally. It's nowhere's gonna be cold weather, but it's definitely gonna be cooler than what we had.
It's gonna be downright frigid.
But we have to get the homestead prepared for the winter months, and they're calling for El Nino year this year, and it's supposed to be sub normal cooler temperatures for the area that we're in, Texas growing zone 8B. And we've got to get this firewood split. This firewood comes from, if y'all been following along on a lot of our other videos, it comes from a lot of storms that took down quite a few trees later this spring or early part of this summer. Or it may even come from Amber's stepdad Dale. He supplies us with quite a few tree trunks from their place that have gone down. And I've got to get the wood split and get it seasoned and cured.
This is something that you should look for in your neighborhood or in your community. We're not cutting down these trees just for firewood. All of this firewood has come from downed trees from one reason or another. Somebody either needed to cut it down, it was dying, it fell over, in a storm, lightning. whatever event it may be. This ends up, a lot of times you can find people wanting to give this stuff away. This is the whole one man's trash is another man's treasure type thing. So keep your eyes open for stuff like this.
Yep. And so we go through quite a bit of wood here, somewhere between, I'm going to say on a very light year, something like 7 cords of wood to as many as 11 cords of wood. We use it for heating and cooking. Now we like to cook on an open fire sometimes, depending on the time of year, maybe 4 to 5 nights a week.
As it gets cooler, we will cook on it more and more and more.
Yep.
It'll be a pretty steady thing.
This wood, like you saw me splitting today, is not optimal for burning quite yet. This particular chunk of firewood, they're going to want, most fireplace manufacturers are going to tell you something like 20% or less of moisture content. Now for the fireplace, that's one thing. For cooking, it's another. Basically, when that wood is too wet, it's going to generate a lot of moisture. And one of the ways, well, it's not that it's going to generate a lot of moisture. There's a lot of moisture in it.
It's going to generate a lot of smoke.
It's going to generate a lot of smoke. But one way to test to see what your moisture content is they make these nifty little devices with the 2 little spikes here on top. And you can come and put those spikes in that wood. Let's see if I can get it again. It needs to be freshly split wood. But hopefully y'all can see that there. This particular pecan, this trunk of pecan, is somewhere around 35% moisture content, which is way too high. We really want to see that below 20%. My personal preference is actually below like a 12%. If you can get the firewood down below 12%, not only is it going to light with ease, but it's not going to generate a bunch of smoke or creosote that's going to plug up your chimney or make your food taste bad. So I wanted to give y'all an example. This is another piece of wood that we split, and I don't know if y'all can see that. I actually split this chunk of wood probably about 3 weeks ago, and then in the core of this wood, I know there's still a lot of moisture. It takes a long time for this wood to dry out, so I split it once again just a little while ago, maybe about 10 minutes ago, and as you can see, the center, the core of this wood still has a lot of moisture in it. If I were to come back and hit this, we're something like 25% now, and if we were to hit the outside of this that's been exposed, we're down to less than 6%. So this wood is getting there. It's still not below the 20 yet, but it's definitely going to be ready for the fall, for those first nights of a campfire or cooking stews or just heating inside the parlor.
And the first big cold front we have, I don't care, I'm burning it.
Yeah. So now that being said, this is something that really helped us out too in the snowpocalypse, the Texas freeze of 2021. It was something like 4 degrees outside at the coldest point. We stayed below freezing temperatures for almost 4 days consecutively. And it was very rough. We're not used, it's not like we're central Texas, as isn't Michigan or Wisconsin. So we're not really accustomed to those type of temperatures for very long periods of time. But the wood stove is something that really saved us in that time frame. Not only we're still using gas heat inside the house, or electric as well, but the wood stove is in a building that is adjacent to the house that kept one half of the house warm to the point where, the heater on the inside of the house wasn't combating the 4 degrees that it was outside. It was something like maybe 55 degrees inside the building next to the house.
And that was really nice because it was able to maintain temperature, and it was good for cooking in there, and you were out of the weather, so you could kind of go in there and still be warm and still be, functioning like normal.
So, like as always, myself and Amber, we encourage y'all to, become more self-sufficient, less ungovernable, as I always like to say. Find ways to get off the system, quit depending on, we don't want to depend on the electric grid, so we've got all of our backups, and this is it. So here we are, keeping the homestead prepared for all the seasons. And I do want to mention too, before we get off, the gas cans here. If y'all have gas cans that y'all use for, your own landscaping, the lawnmower, or etc., whatever, there's a really good chance that right now y'all filled those gas cans up in March or April of this year, for the spring season. And here we are, we're in the middle of September, coming into October here in just a few short weeks, and there's a really good chance that gas that's in those cans is 6-7 months old now. So we're still in the middle of hurricane season. We want to get ready for, the winter months. If y'all got a backup generator, it's not going to be a good day if you take 7-8 month old gas and try and put it in a generator and it doesn't work. So trying to find a way to get that stuff flushed out, used up, put into something else, consumed.
Get those generators started up once.
Get the generators fired up, and hopefully you got enough time. If there is an issue with it, you can get it fixed before it's a dire emergency.
The best thing you can do is get you a Brent.
Yep.
He takes really good care of me, and he maintains all of our stuff around here. I have no fear when it comes to getting something started.
Yep. So, folks, in the meantime, as always, you know, find ways to become more self-sufficient, less governable, get off the system. If y'all wouldn't mind, if y'all like today's video, go ahead and hit the like. If y'all like what we're trying to present and, you know, dedicate to y'all, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you got any questions or comments, leave them down below. Myself or Amber will make sure to get in touch with y'all. After that, we'll see y'all next week.
See you next week.